Okay, today we're gonna talk about the Suez Canal block accidents. So I'm sure you guys ever heard about the Suez Canal block accidents. So on the morning of 23rd March, the Suez Canal was blocked by the 400-meter long, which is a 1,300 feet vessel that was buffeted by strong winds and ended up wedged across the waterway, with its bows and stern stuck in the canal bank, blocking all traffic until it could be freed. According to head of authorities Suez Canal, Lieutenant General Osama Rabi'i said that strong winds are not the main cause of cargo ship ever given to divert and get stuck, hence block 100 lane of Suez Canal, the world's busiest canal. Authorities do not rule out the possibility of human negligence and technical problem. So commenting to the time required for his party to move the ship position, Osama could not guarantee how soon it will be completed. However, the efforts are being intensified by various methods without need to move out the cargo ship. To date, more than 300 ships have had to anchor their ship in the Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea.
Now moving on to the implication of the Suez Canal blockage incident through the demand of oil and gas. So what is demand? Demand is the economic principle referring to a consumer desire to purchase a good and services and their willingness to pay a price for that good and services. So according to the law of demand, other factors remain equal. The higher the price of the goods, then the lower the demand is, and the lower the price of the goods, the higher the demand of the goods and services. In this case, in which the trade route of Suez Canal had been blocked by a container ship, it results in the blocking of traffic of trade oil in both directions. Even though this will only last for a couple of days, it will surely disrupt the energy flow. As the number of days the route being blocked is not certain, the consumers, especially refiners, traders and producers, grows uncertain if the supply of oil would be enough for them or not. This will result in a higher demand of oil to secure the raw material. Since uncertainty is also the determinant of demand, the demand curve would shift upwards or to the left. As you can see, this is the graph of the demand of oil from the late 2020 to the early 2021 when the Suez Canal incident happened. If you see on the last 3 weeks, the demand of oil is very weak. This is due to the pandemic that is currently happening. Europe just went into lockdown and the demand of oil is very low, which is why the Suez Canal incident wouldn't actually have that much of an impact in bringing up the oil demand that much. It did bring up a little bit, but not that much.
So why does the Suez Canal blockage gives out a very big economic impact? It's because the cargo ship that was blocking the canal carrying goods worth $10 billion, and the economic fallout from the cargo ship that has been blocking is very massive. Clearing the logjam is the key to limiting the adverse impact. The canal is about 193 kilometers long and about 10% of all global trade flows through it. The reason why many opt for this route is because it allows ships to avoid longer trips around the southern tip of Africa. Container ships like the blocking the way account for about 1/4 of the traffic in the canal. According to Lloyd's list, more than 50 ships take the canal every day, carrying more than 1 billion tons of cargo. So many will be questioning, what is the effect on supply chain due to the blockage? So the situation has been double the impact as the coronavirus pandemic put an added pressure on the supply chain, making the supply chain to decrease and the demand to increase. With restriction in place To avoid an outbreak, crews has been trapped on merchant ships. With ports becoming congested, many ships have been not able to unload their goods, which is also why there has been a shortage of goods that has been an adverse impact on manufacturers. From here, we can see when the supply decreases, the equilibrium point also increases. So according to experts, there is virtually no alternative kind of transportation when it comes to shipping from Asia or Europe. The block is a set of delay of raw materials from India, petroleum from Middle East, and also manufacturing pieces from China. The US is said to have a relatively lesser impact directly as the countries receive majority of its shipment from the West Coast. The block will also be a deterrent for empty shipping containers returning to Asia, which will give a very big economic impact on countries in Asia. About 7% of the oil transported from sea goes through the Suez Canal, so which amount to 1.9 million barrels every day. Some shipments from the Mid East and Europe could be affected very badly. According to experts, the impact on the oil market will be limited if the situation is not resolved soon. If it persists, or other alternative will have to be considered, like taking the route around Africa, which takes more time as it is a longer route. So when the blockage happened, the petroleum could not be transported to the countries, making the supply chain to decrease.
Moving on to the price of oil and goods and services. The oil price jumped at more than 4% on fears that the Suez Canal crisis may last for weeks. The Brent crude rose at 2.62 US dollar or 4.2% to settle at $64.57 per barrel. This happened because people are afraid that the Suez Canal will cut off the supply of oil. About 12% of global trade passes through Suez Canal every year. Since the blockage happened, other ships are not able to move and arrive at their destination at expected time. This creates a shortage in the price of goods and services, which made sellers to increase the price to abolish the shortage. Moreover, price of gas also tends to increase because they rely on the shipment of oil.
Hello guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I will talk about the negative impact during Suez Canal crisis. Okay, first of all, you should know how many million barrels of oil a day go through the canal and how many fuel, how many container. Okay, first of all, about 1.9 million barrels of oil a day go through the canal, according to Lloyd's. That's about 7% of all seaborne oil. The closure could affect shipment of oil and natural gas from the Middle East to Europe. S&P Global placed analysis said about 1 million barrels of crude and 1.4 million barrels of gasoline and other refined products flow from the Middle East and North Asia through the canal to Europe on the average day. Jim Bucket, who heads crude oil research at IHS Markit, said the impact on the global oil market will be limited if the canal is cleared soon. And he also said if this were to last a month, there are other options. You can sail around Africa. Of course, that will add cost. And if this ship is moved in the next week, it will be a footnote in history when it comes to the oil market. Okay, next, could oil-related product is low? The real economic impact on countries is expected to be much higher as price of crude oil product and gas are amid the tension over the blockage not clearing for an extended period. As per Suez Canal Authority, they suffer a revenue loss of $14 million to $15 million a day due to the blockage. Okay, last but not least, the cost of shipping will be increased for businesses that hire ships on a charter basis, as the ships are going to be in the sea for more days than expected due to the blockage.
At the end, traffic has resumed in Egypt's Suez Canal after expanding 6 days, blocking the crucial waterway. On 28 March, after spending a week, Suez Canal blockage, about 369 ships were queuing to pass through the canal. In conclusion, the Suez Canal blockage drive the oil price higher due to limited resources. This is because the supply decreased during the blockage as the supply gets stuck about a week at Suez Canal. Hence, it will give the biggest impact for oil trading as they had a huge loss, and a negative impact for consumer as the oil price increase if the accidents mean to be longer than happen.